golf industry software sucks. Yeah, I said it. My name's Luke. I'm with Whiskey Run Golf Club in Port Colborne, Ontario, Canada. And honestly, it's 2019, the end of 2019 season. Here at Whiskey Run, we've been family owned and operated for the last 30 years. I've been working in the business full-time for the last 10 years. And if you're familiar with family business, I've definitely been working a ton more within the business before that, but full-time for the last 10 years. I'm 36 now, so since I was 7. And I've seen the golf industry come up. And one thing that I've been really frustrated with is the technology side. I like to think that I'm a bit tech savvy myself, and what I've seen from this industry has not met what I think. We've been through 4 point-of-sale TSheets in the last 10 years. We currently use Chrono Golf, based out of Montreal, which at the outset they have a great idea, which is we build a TSheet and we integrate with best-in-class softwares, so retail, food and beverage, any other third-party app that you want to mix in for whatever reason, they're going to get the best-in-class ones. And that makes sense because the golf industry can't keep up with those. But from my experience is that they don't work so well together, and it feels like more of a Band-Aid duct tape together sort of solution. Like I have a food and beverage side that can't speak to my retail side, and if they do, it's in a minimal capacity, and that's very frustrating because as a golf course operator or owner, you want to be able to track your customer across all aspects of your operation, from online to in-store merchandise, pro shop, retail, to food and beverage, to out on the golf course, and after the fact, you want to be able to communicate with them appropriately. And I have not come across a solution that speaks to that. And that, don't even get me started with like online booking and how trying to book online right now. I mean, my numbers are about 20%. I have 20 to 22% booking online, which is crazy, I think. It's because the user experience sucks. And when I'm getting frustrated myself trying to book it and can't fully understand, well, then somebody else who actually wants to pay money is definitely not going to be doing it. So I need to find a better solution that way. And this is just a bit of a rant, sorry, but what are the other softwares out there? Well, there's TSnap. I think probably the best software out there is TSnap, but they're based out of Las Vegas. They owned by Allegiant Airlines. They're probably the best, cleanest looking, and most appropriate software to track across your entire operation. But they can't operate in Canada, even though they're development teams based out of Ottawa. So their software as a solution does not equate to Canada. And it looks like Allegiant Airlines is going to sell them, which may not be a bad thing. But I'm not going to sit around and wait to see what is going to happen there. Because what this has really come to, and what I've found out now, is that the golf industry as a whole cannot sustain proper technology within its industry. They cannot. Any golf-specific software that tries to get in, they just can't pull in the revenues to sustain. They don't have the capital to sustain, to keep up with technology that's going on outside of the golf industry. And it makes sense when you think about it. It really does. And so what's the solution? I think from my perspective, now I'm going to look outside of the golf industry to try and find something that will work and keep up to date. Something that will actually be able to be sustained in the golf industry. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's been frustrating the last decade trying to make these things work. But I think there's a solution, and the solution's probably outside of the golf industry. unfortunately. Although I'd love to see, there's a lot of good people working in these industry softwares, like in their companies. There's a lot of good people out there. But if it's not going to work, if we're all trying to build up the industry, how do you build up an industry? You build up the businesses around it, and it all just floats up. So how are we supposed to do that when we don't have the technology to keep up with what the consumers are demanding? That's my bit of a rant. If you have any thoughts or ideas on that, let me know. I'm really considering, actually I'm not even considering, I'm going to be starting to search now for softwares outside of the golf industry, and I'm going to make a move because we have to make moves. And that's just it. I can't sit around. I can't wait for the golf industry to catch up. It's always going to be years behind, for the sheer fact that it just won't have the capital behind. And that's just the reality of it. So let me know your thoughts, and if you're on board with this too, maybe we can move on this journey together. Let's see what happens.